So far, I think my favorite thing about the Mr. Pandaria beta is that Call Beast is bugged, and I can summon an endless army of beetles and tigers to kill anything I want. Hey guys, this is Spyder here with Ruin Gaming, bringing you the World of Warcraft Mr. Pandaria beta. And we're going to be taking a look at the Hunter class and checking out the changes to the class, talents, and glyphs. Now the very first thing I did when I logged on to the Mr. Pandaria beta was I fixed my action bars because they were a complete mess. However, after that I started to look at all the Hunter changes. I had remembered Blizzard saying that Hunters will no longer be using melee weapons in Mr. Pandaria, so I wanted to see what that was all about. We can still equip melee weapons like Thunder Fury or Ash Candy, however we have no use for them anymore because Wing Clip and Raptor Strike have been removed from the game. Also, I wanted to point out that Concussive Shot is being removed from the game, and I assume this has to do with the fact that Hunters will no longer have a dead zone. It's really nice no longer having a dead zone after 7 years though, like it is so much fun being able to cast in melee. But no longer having Concussive Shot makes it so Frost Trap and Crippling Poison proc from Snake Trap is the only slow Hunters will have without talents or glyphs. This is going to make kiting really difficult for a Hunter, and PvP kiting may be a challenge, which is actually going to be a lot of fun in my opinion. I also noticed that while I was out questing, my pet was holding aggro like a champion, which really only ever happened if I had been misdirecting my pet or I was Beast Mastery spec. So I went to take a look at his skills and I noticed that they changed Growl. Right now in live, Growl just generates threat. However, in Mr. Pandaria, it generates threat and it will taunt the target for 3 seconds. So we won't have any issues with aggro anymore while we're leveling, and those baddie hunters that always forget to turn it off are going to get their pets killed almost instantly in dungeons. Now if we take a look at the Spellbook, they've changed a lot about this as well. We no longer have the Marksman, Beast Mastery, or Survival pages. Now we just simply have active and passive pages. The active page is filled with all your talents and even racials, so you can find any type of skill you activate in here. As for the passive page, it holds all the passive racials and talents as well. Also, True Shot Aura is in here and it's passive for all Hunters now, which is awesome. So now let's take a look at the talent spec changes to the Hunter class, and as you can see they've changed up the UI for this page, and basically we get to see everything that you'll get when you choose a certain spec. Now for Survival Hunters they have Explosive Shot, Cobra Shot, Black Arrow, and Trap Mastery. As you can see, Black Arrow has been changed from an insta-cast to a 1.73 second cast, and it no longer has a cooldown. This basically means Black Arrow will have 100% uptime for Survival Hunters, and we can use it as long as we have the focus. They've also changed Trap Mastery slightly by adding in Resourcefulness to the Trap Mastery talent. This means that Trap Mastery now will reduce the cooldown of all traps by 6 seconds, as well as providing additional benefits for each type of trap. Marksmanship Hunters have Aim Shot, Steady Shot, Arcane Shot, and Chimera Shot, and nothing really has changed for the Marksman Hunter. Finally, for Beast Mastery Hunters we have Kill Command, Cobra Shot, Arcane Shot, and Bestial Wrath. As you can see, Cobra Shot is only going to be usable for Survival and Beast Mastery Hunters, and Steady Shot is only going to be usable by the Marksmanship Hunters now as well. So there are a few talent changes for all 3 specs as a whole, but for the most part the specs have stayed the same. Now let's take a look at the new talent options that we have, and I really like the way this page looks. Basically players will have to choose one of the 3 choices per each line. So let's take a look at them and see what you have to choose from. For level 15 talents, first up is Pod Haste. So whenever you use Disengage, your movement speed will be increased by 60% for 4 seconds. Next up is Narrow Escape. Whenever you disengage, you're going to root everyone within 8 yards of you in a web, and this lasts for 3 seconds. Finally, we have Exhilaration, so when you disengage, you're instantly going to be healed for 15% of your total health. For level 30 talents, first up we have Silencing Shot, which will fire a shot that silences the target and interrupts spellcasting for 3 seconds. Secondly, we have Wyvern Sting, which puts the target to sleep for 30 seconds, and when it breaks, it'll put a dot on the target for 6 seconds. Finally, we have Binding Shot, which fires a magical arrow anywhere you want, and it will tether enemies within 5 yards to the arrow. Now, if any targets move 5 yards away from the arrow after being tethered, they will be stunned for 5 seconds. For level 45 talents, first up we have Crouching Tiger, Hidden Chimera, which will reduce the cooldown of Disengage by 10 seconds and the cooldown of Deterrence by 60 seconds. This will mean that your Disengage cooldown will be 15 seconds and your Deterrence cooldown will be 1 minute. Secondly, we have Aspect of the Iron Hawk, which is going to replace Aspect of the Hawk. It will still increase your ranged attack power by 10%, but it will also reduce all damage you take by 15% while this is active. And finally, we have Spirit Bond, which makes it so while your pet is active, you and your pet will regen 3% of your total health every 2 seconds. For level 60 talents, first up is Fervor, which will instantly restore 50 focus to you and your pet. Next up is Readiness, which when activated, it will immediately finish the cooldown on all your hunter abilities. Next up we have Throw of the Hunt, which makes it so you have a 15% chance when you fire a ranged attack that costs focus, or a kill command, your next ranged attack that costs focus, or your next kill command won't cost any focus at all. For level 75 talents, we have a Murder of Crows, which will summon a flock of crows to attack your target for 30 seconds. And if you use it on a target below 20% health, it will instantly reset the cooldown so you can always have the crows active. Secondly, we have Call Beast, which will summon a second pet to attack for you for 12 seconds. And every time this new pet deals damage, you will gain 2 focus. Finally, we have Lynx Rush, which requires your pet to be active. And this Lynx Rush will send your pet into a rapid charge, and he'll go from target to target, dealing a total of 9 attacks over 4 seconds. For level 90 talents, first up is Glaive Toss, which will hurl 2 giant glaives towards your enemy target, and they're going to deal 2400 damage to every target they hit, and it's also going to reduce their movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds. And when it reaches your primary target, they will take 4 times as much damage from each strike. After the glaives reach their target, they're going to return to you, and they're going to do the exact same thing on their way back to you. Next up is Power Shot, which winds up a super awesome shot that deals 100% weapon damage to your main target and 25% weapon damage to all other enemies in between you and the main target. Also, every single target that Power Shot hits is going to be knocked back all the way to Africa. And finally, we have Barrage, which is a 3-second channeled attack that deals 288% weapon damage to your main target and 72% weapon damage to other targets nearby. Finally, we have the Glyphs, and they've taken out Prime Glyphs and made everything either a major glyph or a minor glyph. Also, they've taken some of the old talents and made them into major glyphs. So let's take a look and see what they've changed, what they've added, and what stayed the same. Glyph of Aim Shot has been changed, so now when you use Aim Shot while in camouflage, your target's movement speed is going to be reduced by 50% for 6 seconds. Glyph of Animal Bonds now makes it so when your pet is active, all healing done to you and your pet will be increased by 10%. They've changed Glyph of Arcane Shot, so now when your Arcane Shot deals damage, it's going to slow the movement speed of your target by 50% for 6 seconds. Glyph of Camouflage now makes it so camouflage will be a permanent stealth. However, your movement speed while in camouflage will be reduced by 50%. They've changed Glyph of Chimera Shot, so now it increases the healing you receive from Chimera Shot by an additional 5% of your maximum health. Glyph of Deterrence is staying the same, reducing the cooldown by 10 seconds. Glyph of Disengage is being changed, and instead of reducing the cooldown by 5 seconds, it will just increase the distance you travel. Glyph of Endless Wrath makes it so when Bestial Wrath is active, your pet cannot be killed, but it can still be damaged down to 1 HP. Glyph of Explosive Trap makes it so when Explosive Trap is activated, it'll knock back all nearby enemies. Glyph of Freezing Trap is staying the same, so when Freezing Trap breaks, the target's movement speed will be reduced by 70% for 4 seconds. Glyph of Ice Trap is also staying the same, increasing the radius effect from Ice Trap by 2 yards. Glyph of Icy Soulless makes it so Freezing Trap now removes all damage over time effects from the target. The Marked for Death talent has been turned into a glyph, making it so your Arcane Shot, Chimera Shot, Kill Command, and Explosive Shot all automatically will apply Hunter's Mark. Glyph of Master's Call is staying the same, increasing the duration of Master's Call by 4 seconds. The Men Pet talent is being changed into a glyph, making it so when Men Pet is activated, it has a 50% chance per tick to cleanse something off of your pet. Glyph of Mending is staying the same, increasing the healing done by Men Pet by 60%. The Mirrored Blades talent is being changed into a glyph, making it so you have a 100% chance when Deterrence is activated to reflect the next spell back at the attacker. Glyph of Misdirection is staying the same, so when you use Misdirect on your pet, the cooldown will be reset. The talent No Escape is being changed into a glyph, making it so you have an increased range critical strike chance on all of your attacks on the targets affected by your Ice Trap and Freezing Trap by 6%. The talent Pathfinding is being changed into a glyph, increasing the speed bonus of Aspect of the Cheetah and Pack by 8%, and also increases your mounted movement speed by 10%. However, this doesn't stack with the Guild perk or Crusader aura. Glyph of Scattershot is staying the same, increasing the range by 3 yards. Also, the Glyph of Snake Trap is staying the same, reducing the damage taken by your snakes by 90% from AoE effects. Glyph of Steady Shot is being changed, making it so when you steady shot within 8 yards of your target, their movement speed is going to be reduced by 50% for 6 seconds. Glyph of Tranquilizing Shot makes it so your Tranq Shot no longer costs focus, but it will have a 10-second cooldown. Glyph of Aspect of the Cheetah makes it so you can't be dazed while in Cheetah, but instead it will cancel the Cheetah effect and put all other aspects on a 4-second cooldown. Glyph of Aspect of the Pack is staying the same, increasing the range by 15 yards. Glyph of Feign Death is staying the same, reducing the cooldown by 5 seconds. Glyph of Lesser Proportion is staying the same, reducing the size of your pet. Glyph of Revive Pet is staying the same, reducing pushback by 100%. Glyph of Scare Beast is staying the same, reducing pushback by 75%. And Glyph of Tame Beast reduces the cast time of Tame Beast by 4 seconds. Overall, for the Hunter class, I honestly can't wait to play it in Miss Pandaria, just because I feel like Hunters will have one of the highest skill caps in PvP. And also, we won't be limited to playing a specific comp like Jungle Cleave or Beast Cleave in Arena like we have been for the past few years. Also, I really want to try out Beast Mastery and Survival PvE with the changes because I feel like Beast Mastery might actually have a chance in Miss Pandaria to be a main PvE spec for Hunters again. I would love to know what you guys think about the Hunter changes so far in the Miss Pandaria beta, and if you're going to be sticking with the Hunter class or even re-rolling. Also guys, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and share this video with your friends.